The working world has been experiencing the great resignation for the past year. What should companies do now to retain their talent?
Hmm. Senior leaders and CEOs and presidents always say human being is the most important capital of an organization. But I don't know, in real world, how much attention people get. So CEOs and leaders of companies would agree that they understand the human being, human talent is the most important asset, even arsenal of a company. But people resign and they don't know how to deal with that. But I can start from this. Again, as a coach, I would ask, why do you think people resign? I think that's very important. Because Gallup did a study why people leave company, and they realized most of the people who leave company, they leave because of their direct manager, not because of the company. So that's one aspect we can measure. And also, if the company itself, I mentioned there is a season for every company. If this whole industry is kind of dying, and people may not want to stay there. So that's another aspect we can analyze to see why people resign from our company, from our organization. But if that process is done and then somebody wants to improve the process and retain talents for a long time, I can give you one word. It's a long-term strategy. I think this is the right one and most powerful one, which is culture. Culture is the strategy why people stay in a company or leave company. And culture is not just having a pizza party or something. It's much bigger than that. And we got to understand two basic but most important human needs. People want to grow and people want to contribute. So growth is directly connected to their success. So they're driven, they work hard. But once people achieve certain level of success, they tend to seek what's meaningful. So success and significance, those two things are incredibly powerful to retain talents in a company. If company can do that, people stay longer. I can give a specific example because people don't get burnt out because of the workload. People get burnt out because they feel like they're lacking growth. So progress is happiness. People know what they want. They understand they're progressing towards the goal, and people can pull off a lot more than what they usually do. So based on that, I can give you an example. It's a company that can research. It's called Next Jump. It's an e-commerce store based in New York, a tech company, and they have their branches in San Francisco, London, and Boston. But this company was, so Harvard professors did a research for 3 years to discover which company has best culture for employee development. They researched, and then people named like Google, Apple, Facebook, like all great companies, but they've chosen, they were all like, only 3 companies were chosen, and one of those 3 companies is NextJump. I had the fortune to visit the company a number of times. I still, and thanks to this virtual world, I continue getting the trainings from the company. So what they do, they built this amazing culture because in that company, 80% of employees are engineers. And in the field of engineers, now the supply is, demand is higher than supply. So they can choose wherever they want to go, right? So there's no such thing called loyalty to a company. If you get paid more, you leave. So they mastered how to get the best talent from the East Coast. The Georgia Tech, like Carnegie Mellon, Cornell, those like top schools, they were able to hire like top 1% talent. But the problem was within a year, 40% of turnover. People leave. Like big companies, they come and they offer like 2 to 3 times of salary and people leave. They didn't know what to do. But they continue to invest in building a culture where people see they're actually growing and they can also contribute. So their work itself is so meaningful. So right now in the last decade, from 40%, it's one single digit consistently. People don't leave. And it's unprecedented. So people like companies like ask this Next Jump, how do you do that? And he said, like, it's culture. It's the strategy, how you retain talents. And then after a few years, it actually showed up in their revenue. They do like 2.4 billion in a year, but revenue skyrocketed, and then companies started to pay attention. The company only has like 200 some employees, but they donate money to Georgia Tech or certain companies at the level of Coca-Cola. Isn't it interesting? So I think culture is the key, and once people understand they are growing more at work and they're doing something meaningful, they're going to remain. And lastly, it's just I can give you a simple example. It's a pizza company, and I think it was case studied at Harvard Business School. And the pizza company, I forgot the name, but you can research it. But what they did was there's one of the weekdays, you have a day you can get like a number of pizzas you want for free. The employees can get the pizza, and you can give to anyone you want. So people started to give to homeless people, for other people you love, and they were finding meaning just working in this pizza company. And I'm not just gaining money, but I can do something meaningful with this. So people connect their personal success and meaning of life, and they love their company and they stay longer. And I think if people want to retain employees in their company, I think CEOs and the leaders should find a way to meet their needs to grow and contribute.